of the car. So I'm going to make a version of it. So we can start with that. So some things you may end up needing. We've got some masking tape. I have Scotch tape also. I have a ruler. I have 2 CDs. These are really thin plastic discs. This is a wood cutter. This is to cut to cut dowels. Don't use scissors for that. Here's some different sticks of different diameters. You might need a straw. You may also need a pair of scissors. So you might want to get that. And 2 wheels. And then these 2 discs, they actually fit into the hole from the CD. So, and a popsicle stick. So let's start, and I'll show you how I might, one way to build this. So this is my body of my vehicle. We're just going to use the stick. And on this, I'm going to want to put 2 wheels in the back or the front, whatever. I'm going to put these 2 wheels, right? And then I'm going to want these 2 wheels. So I'm going to have 2 pairs of wheels. One big, one small. We're going to see how it works as a base model. So I want to make sure that things are attached very securely, but also evenly. So I want to make sure that when I make markings on my on here, that I make sure they're super straight. So whatever you can do, you may want to get graph paper. I don't have any here at my house, but you do when you're at school. I also have mats that you can do this on top of that have lines across them so you can make sure things are straight. So do your best to make this as straight as possible. I draw a little line there, and I'm lining these up so that I don't end up overlapping them. I don't want these wheels to touch, so I'm going to try to spread them out as much as I can. So I'll put a line there. So there's where I'm going to put my 2 pairs of wheels. So now I need to create my axles. So these disc holders here, these fillers, the sticks that I have don't fit very well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of masking tape and make it the diameter that I need so that's a snug fit. So all I do is I take this masking tape and I roll it, sort of like you've seen them make cotton candy, right? I'm just rolling this to make this a bigger diameter. I'm not using the tape to tape the disc on, the wheel on. I'm using it to create a thicker diameter here. So it's still too loose. So then I'm going to try it again. So you see what I did? I just tested it out. Then I'm going to add some more and make it a little bit fatter at this end. Let's check it again. Tear it off. Now it's a nice tight fit. It's not going to shift. So you see how that now fills that gap. Now this is way too long. I don't want my wheel sticking out all that way. I actually want a pretty short diameter, a short axle. So I'm going to cut this somewhere around here. So let's do that. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to wrap this end to make it thicker. And it doesn't work well with regular tape, by the way. Definitely use masking tape for this part because masking tape has more texture and it's also a little bit thicker, so you don't need to use as much. So let's test it out. Oh, that's good. Okay, so there's my axle, and then I'm going to fit this wheel on here, and that just sits on there. I'm not going to glue it or anything. Right? I'm just going to make sure it's good. So that works well. Now, how do I get this on here? Right? So the best way that I have found to do this is to create an axle housing. So an axle housing is something that allows the wheels to spin, right? So if I take this off and put this on my axle like this, now I can attach the axle housing to my car body, to the body of my car, without worrying about inhibiting the rotation of my axle itself, because you want the axle to rotate. So I got to try to make sure this is straight. Hardest part is getting things on straight. And you may find that you want to use glue, but for my base model, I'm just going to use a piece of tape, see how it works. You can see the tape is not working fantastic, so I may need to change that. But for now, that'll do. So I've got one axle on. Now for my other one, I'm going to see, I think this will fit pretty well. Yeah, this fits without wrapping it. So I'm going to shorten it again, but I want to put an axle housing on first. So I'm going to cut a short piece, thread it on there. I'm going to cut this a little shorter and put the other wheel on. And I'll tape that one on. Oops. Now, again, you don't have to use Scotch tape for this. Well, you might want to just to check it out, see what happens, right, before you do anything permanent. But that I will leave up to you. Okay, now I'm going to put my wheels on the back. And there's your base model. That's it. Looks like that. Pretty easy.